Sims, let's go.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Miracle Sims and you're watching the GSL Talk Show. Tonight we're going to be chatting with Dr. Rob Wolf. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the GSL Talk Show. I'm here with Dr. Wolf. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you, Rob Wolf, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you here, Miracle.
Yes, sir. It's nice to meet you too. Can you tell me where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, actually. My parents were both Hungarian. They're both Holocaust survivors and escaped after the Hungarian Revolution in '56. Came to the United States, New York, to Providence, Rhode Island, to Boston, to Detroit. And so I was born and raised in suburban Detroit, up through K through 12. I was one of three Jewish people in my high school. Our high school was about 40% African American. Never felt anti-Semitism back then. By the time we were all seniors, we were really all good friends and tough to leave and go to college. And then same thing with college and on and on. You always meet these great friends when you're a senior or a couple months to go, and then unfortunately you lose track of them. But there was bullying and stuff, but it was usually when you were a smaller kid. You were just like a freshman or in seventh grade, and it was about being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It never felt like it was about racism or anti-Semitism. But later on, we all our BS and our trash talking we leave on the field too. So unlike what's going on today at colleges, all of the any trash talking we just left it on the field, whatever it is, so to speak. So anyway, I go to Tufts University, lucky enough to get in there for college, and then University of Michigan Medical School in Ann Arbor, which was amazing, and because I've been a fan of Michigan since I was 4 years old. Then internship at Framingham Hospital. It's a Boston University affiliate. I did my radiology at Brown and my neuroradiology at Yale. So I'm very privileged to get that kind of training. I owe a lot of it to my parents, their support and intelligence and nurturing. You can't say that enough. It's kind of why I'm doing this whole project. But so now I'm 30 years old. My indentured servantry years are over, and I've just retired from radiology. I've been in practice 35 years, part-time the last 19. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that and pursue other projects, especially this one, which is the most important. I like a variety of, so that's 44 years in. And when I say 44 years, that's a lot of sweat, a lot of hard times, a lot of wasted time, a lot of well-spent time. Anyway, so I have a lot of interests besides my book and the project I'm working on which is fighting anti-Semitism. I like sports and music. I'm a foodie. I'm into fitness and nutrition, golf, history in general, travel, investing. So I've got a lot of bring something up and hopefully we can talk about it. But that's kind of my streamline of my major interests. But I'm open to anything. I love engaging with people. I like talking, learning about new people, telling them about my parents' story and how harrowing it was, and learning about others, which is how my mom and dad were too. And expound on that if you'd like.
Wow. Well, that, I mean, it's definitely a lot to expound on, like you said. But I definitely am interested in the beginning stages because, I don't know if I know too many people that, were raised by Holocaust survivors and things of that nature. So, I would love to know, like, what that was like for you. And, because I know that is World War II, that whole situation is definitely one of those, I guess, moments in history that is often brought up, often talked about, and things of that nature. And so, like, I can't imagine again living through it and whatnot. And so, is it something that your parents talked a lot about, or is it something that they just were like, we're just trying to move forward in life now? Like, how was it for you to be raised by Holocaust survivors?
It's a great question. I like the way you worded it. So the first half of my life didn't really hear that much about it. I mean, my mom and dad would reiterate some of the things, especially if there was a fight, an argument. Then things would come up about my dad being in forced labor camp and how we were all spoiled Americans and yada yada. And the thing is, he was right. Don't you hate it when your parents are right? I mean, I say that all the time, but they were great parents. I was bar mitzvah in an Orthodox synagogue, an Orthodox temple. I was one of the last to be bar mitzvah there. Then they raised that temple to build an assisted living place, and they moved the temple down the street. So it was ended up being conservative, where we ended up doing the funerals for both my mom and dad. Unfortunately, growing up, so the first half, I didn't think much about it. My mom was always a Holocaust educator. My dad also, but he was also busy with his OBGYN practice, which is kind of the punchline. He delivered 10,000 babies in his career, and we'll call that some redemption after everything they went through. It didn't bring back his parents, who perished at Auschwitz, unfortunately, as did my mom's grandfather, a rabbi, and my dad's father was a dentist. So real threats to society, of course. Um,
Mm,
but no sign of PTSD with them. I mean, no. I guess my dad focused on just his work and loving the family, the dog, our neighbors, our friends, his friends. My mom busy with ORT, a Jewish organization. They were busy with the community. They were well respected in the Jewish community. They were well respected in the general community and the medical community. So they had all that. They loved to travel. They loved education. I was very privileged to be able to do what I did because of my parents, and this is sort of my gift back to them, their legacy and my family.
mm,
Uh, so now I'm about 30, about the same thing. Maybe it was a little earlier than 30 that I read my dad's manuscript. They wrote the book. They wrote his autobiography basically in the 70s, and it was crisp and clear, and the stories were as though they happened the previous day. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the way the table was set, the fear, all of it. You can put yourself in my dad's place in the story. So this is in the 70s. I read the manuscript once, didn't think much of it, and then I did remember his first escape, though. His first out of four escapes, which is another miracle. I guess I'm going to use the word miracle more than once, besides your first name, because there were 20 miracles in the book. So,
mm,
and then flash forward to 1997, my dad passes away. Unfortunately, 2016, my mom passes away. Unfortunately, a historian friend in Michigan hands me the books is now on a disc. So talk about progressive technology, of course. And she says, you've got to read this. You've got to look at it. So I didn't think much of it at the time. Busy for a year taking care of mom's affairs. Another year I retired and traveled. But then a friend of mine who you never burn your bridges. So there's a lesson there. He said, look, I'm short radiologist. Can you come back and work with me, 2 days a week? So I've been doing that the last 5 or 6 years until I retired recently. But that work brought me to the book. As a
mm,
radiologist, the left screen is the patient list or the patient queue, and the right screen is the images of the patients. So between cases, the left screen was my dad's autobiography, and the right screen was me turning it into his biography. Not word for word, because the English was a little broken from time to time, and I had to review the history. And we actually, and this is this is where I got the zap. So 6 years ago is where I got the zap. I got the calling, like Superman's kryptonite. That's the best way I can. That's the best analogy I can. It's kind of corny, but I was called to do this book. My parents wrote this as though they knew I would do it. Again, don't you hate it when your parents are right?
mm,
If you knew me 6 years ago, you'd say, and I was getting Holocaust burnout too, by the way. I was when my mom would tell my wife and their family and friends, they would talk about the stories. I guess that was her defense mechanism, but I got a little burnout from it. So if you knew me 6 years ago, you'd say this guy would never write a book about the Holocaust, and never, let alone defend the fight against anti-Semitism and on and on. But somehow my parents' spirits got into me, and this is what I'm doing. This is my charge now. So early first half of life, not so much. Second half, more so, and just to the point of burnout. But then after mom went, and I had a chance to breathe and think and look at what my dad had written and all the harrowing stories and miracles, I said, I cannot leave this on. I can't leave this on a computer disk. I can't leave this on a screen. This needs to be shared with people. So here we are.
Man, that is amazing. I can't help but think about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm understanding it wrong, but like, so you're saying that your parents, they came here as immigrants and things of that nature, and now they built this life and, had you, and is that correct? Am I, they came
Yeah,
here as
no, the second half of their lives, and I'm not big into entitlement, but their lives were rough until about early 1960s, 1962, the year I was born, the year my dad got his first job in Detroit, and then eventually in '65 moved to a small town called Mount Clemens, where he practiced the rest of his life to 24 years. If he didn't go through everything he went through, forced labor camp, a delay in being able to matriculate into medical school because he was Jewish, he probably would have gotten at least 30, 35 years in his career. So he always reiterated how he lost 10 years of his life. My dad was always on the run during the Holocaust, and my mom was in hiding actually. So you can't say it wasn't as harrowing because she was just a scared little girl hiding with her mom and grandmother or grandfather or uncle at different places in the countryside or in Budapest and having to migrate place to place. So pretty scary stuff.
yeah.
And for my dad, a different story because not a lot of people know about forced labor camps. Not a lot of people know about Hungarian history. And they went from Nazi Hungary to communist Hungary. So the Jewish people were never treated, and not just the Jewish people were not treated appropriately. They were not. They didn't have the freedoms under the communists. So after the Hungarian Revolution in '56, which was protesting just that and a short war, my parents decided to leave. So so in the end, second half of their lives were pretty good. But what a comeback they had to make. I mean, and not lay down and not have PTSD, not rely on the bottle or drugs or whatever. Just education, focus on hard work, friendships, and that got them through. So we talk about PTSD with Vietnam. We talk about with the Holocaust, and I guess that's my charge is just trying to reiterate because there's a lot of Holocaust denial. There's even 9/11 denial, which I'd like to remind people, these kids that don't bone up on history, they're watching TikTok or whatever, that it's fine if you want to watch TikTok, but read a history book or listen to, educate yourself or listen to what your teachers say. Some teachers are questionable too. I mean, unfortunately, but so we can go back to 9/11 and people are denying that. But I got to remind people that those were American targets. Jewish people died, Muslim people, Christian, Asian, a lot of collateral damage, as you know, a lot of cost. But nobody talks about World War I anymore. The United States, the revolution in '76, the War of 1812, Vietnam, even Korea. Not a lot of people are talking about those. So I guess that's part of my job is just to remind people that it happened. If Dad said that that's what happened, then that's what happened. There's a lot of photograph evidence, many by the Nazis, many by sadistic people. Unfortunately, people that were smiling as they're disturbing pictures. Some of them, many of them, and the people that are smiling as they're walking by destroyed Jewish businesses, broken glass and graffiti and all the like. And we're seeing some of that nowadays. And I guess my parents wrote this not only knowing that I would be doing this, but also that it would be a recurring theme, racism and anti-Semitism. And the sad thing is, 60, 80, 100 years later, whatever it is, people are finding new ways to torture each other, to persecute, to kill, to make them starve, to punish them. And it's so sad. They had their own way back in Nazi Hungary and communist Hungary, and then, of course, in Vietnam and wherever else. And now today in Gaza and Ukraine, still a mess. And there's just so many parallels with what's happening now to what happened in my mom and dad's time. So here we are.
Mm. I mean, I know this could easily go political, right? I guess I just wonder if you're like kind of concerned based on like,
I'm not political.
well, I mean, well, we don't have to go into the political side of it if you don't want, but I just wonder, like, are you concerned about like what you're seeing as, again, someone that were, had Holocaust survivors as parents, and then now you feel this charge to continue the legacy of what they, started with sharing and the book and different things of that nature. So, would you say that there's like a concern of what you're seeing or witnessing? Because, I feel like people are often saying phrases like, I mean, well, I don't know if I'm hearing communist a lot, but what is it? So I don't know if it's socialism or I don't know. It's like people are saying all these other types of ideas, and then compared to what I guess America's supposed to be, a place of free speech, freedom to choose your religion, different things of that nature. And so, um, like, would you say that there's a concern for America based on like the things that you know about history, or you're saying like, just kind of reminding people of history in general? Like, do you
Well,
feel concerned at all? I guess my
it's
question.
both. Yeah, it's both. They go hand in hand. I mean, what happened in the 1930s was a slow rise of fascism and anti-Semitism, and it just accelerated in the end. I'm optimistic. I've always been cautiously optimistic. Fortunately, in the United States and other free countries, the government and the police aren't pointing their guns at me because of my race, religion, sexual preference, whatever. They still protect us, so we have that. I think there's enough. 99% of the people, I think, are peaceful. They want to raise a family, make a living, have a place to live, maybe vacation from time to time. They're not into this. I hate you because, or I'm going to kill you because, or this country should be obliterated because all that is inappropriate. So it's a combination of two. I'm trying to warn people, and believe me, my mom and dad were not political at all, and that saved them probably in communist Hungary. They wouldn't commit, and even in the United States, they wouldn't. They talked about freedom. You talk about freedom of speech, freedom to vote. Those kind of things are important. I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of center, right of center. If you ask my politics, I just like reasonable government, a government that's not going to threaten me. I'd like to see the national debt come down quite a bit. Illegal immigration, we still have a lot of problems, as does the world. And I'm more worried about Canada. I've got cousins in Toronto. Canada's still pretty active with the anti-Semitism. Our
Mm-hmm.
universities, which is a really, really sad thing because your time in your university, you're spending money, you're learning things, but you also have a social life. You also need to learn about life itself. And when people are protesting and not letting their professors in or students into their classes, then it's a lot of lawsuits. It's a lot of heavy stuff, and it's a lot that doesn't need to be. It's unnecessary if more people were educated. Now the
Mm-hmm.
hardcore Hamas, the hardcore haters, we're not going to be able. The hardcore, white supremacists, some of those will be unable to educate. But if they're caught for hate crimes and arrested or put on probation or whatever, I think they should be made to read a book like mine and maybe 15 or 20 others and learn about what life was like for people that persecuted other people. And life is short and fleeting, and it's our only commodity. And I wish more people would respect that. And I'm the opposite. As a radiologist, we're into the preservation of life, anatomy, the beauty of the cell, the beauty of how things work, even not just humans, but dogs, cats, giraffes, you name it. It's just a fascinating thing. It's life, and it's
Mm-hmm.
short. And then these people don't think twice about maiming or torturing or killing somebody just because they're different. And
Mm-hmm.
I think only God gets to do that. I don't think we got to slip in a little religion here, I suppose. But somebody does get to decide if you or I uh, are in prison or have a life shortened or starved or made homeless. It's up to us. It's up to our hard work and ultimately the hand of God.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
I
don't believe,
agree.
go ahead. If you don't believe in God, if you read this book, you'll believe in God because 20 miracles in this book and four escapes and on and on. I mean, it's just the super fortuitous.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess a prophetic journey for you, right, to carry the torch, and who knows with you. I mean, I don't know if you have children or whatnot, but I'm sure the legacy will continue even after you. But so I guess, well, on a lighter note, then I guess I'll switch it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about
Sex.
uh this idea of Canada being the 51st state of
Oh,
of
wow.
America?
Wow, you're really. I don't want to get political. I think it's an idea to be entertained. I don't think the Canadians like it. I mean, they're flipping the middle
Yeah,
finger at us,
yeah.
especially with the tariffs. But the truth of the matter is, Trump is right that their military is relatively weak. The waters are surrounded by enemy submarines and ships. I don't think about that every day, but that's come up.
Mhm.
Denuclearization. They've talked about that. I don't know if that'll ever happen, if that's realistic. That could be a real windfall for both countries if and maybe even Puerto Rico too. I mean, but Canada is loaded with minerals, and it's a beautiful country. Of course, the people are great. I've never met a Canadian I didn't like. They're stirring up the pot a little, but I'm in that camp where maybe we do need something a little bit different. Maybe we do need to. I'm not saying I support tariffs because it might hit us hard for a while, but we'll see if it actually if it improves our joblessness and brings up productivity and reduces our national debt. I'm all for it. Anything that might work. So, but
Mm.
Canada is going to be very reluctant to that. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. Maybe a bond that's a little closer. and our borders need
mm,
to be protected on both sides too. So
mm.
all of that, and I think where they're trying to do that, but it's an uphill battle, as you know. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I feel like I guess they would think it's a demotion of some sort, right, to be a country and then not be their own country. But I heard now that that would probably make us the largest continent, right? Like I think that would make
Probably
us.
would. Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
Soviet Union's bigger. Alaska's huge, of course, and that'd be another advantage of it. It's contiguous with Alaska, so you could communicate by. Well, I know Alaska's rough territory, but not just by boat or plane. That it'd be nice to have communication, more community. But that's a border that we don't usually think of. And Hawaii is
Mm,
the other one. So
yeah.
it's not just the space, because some of the territory, obviously, Canadian Rockies, some of these places are uninhabitable, but preserving the beauty of it and split. I think it would. I think it'd be worth a thought, worth a try. I'm not going to say we're going to annex Israel, but the truth of the matter is, if we did, I think Israel would be a lot safer. Even though they are very, very tough militarily, their defense, their economy in general, they've really come a long way since 1948 when they
Mhm.
first were independent. So England, not so much. Europe, they've all got their own culture and their freedom. Canada's culture, I mean, some of it's different, but some of it's the same. And English speaking, uh, it'd be worth a look. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a
Yeah.
thought. It's a thought. Thinking
No,
outside the box.
try to make it a little lighter, then so you want to
No,
like
no, it
I'm
could be happening.
bombarding you to choose a side or something like that. I'm not at all. I guess my thing is just the curiosity of different people's perspectives, especially when, again, you have that obviously the influence of your parents, or like you said, you have friends and family in Canada, different things of that nature. So, just curious about your perspective of those things. But okay, so now, so now you're on this journey. I mean, obviously you became a doctor. I guess I hate to say like a good Jewish person, but I feel like that's the main thing I hear people encouraging their kids to either be doctors or lawyers, right? In
That's a
this particular,
stereotype that hey,
it
there's a lot
is
of Jewish people that are janitors, that dig
true.
grave
Yeah,
sites, that they're electricians, truck drivers. So don't and they talk about there's stereotypes about the money. Most of the rich
true.
people in this country and in the world are not Jewish,
Mm,
and the criticism there's a lot of good. And they talk about Trump being anti-Semitic. He's or racist. He's got a lot of people. He's got a lot of African Americans on his staff, and his son-in-law is Jewish, and many people that are of mixed races that are working in that government. So I wish people would let off the gas on that, and also talking about oligarchies. People like Musk. Yeah, he's rich, but he's also one of the smartest guys in the world. He's like an Albert Einstein, although Einstein was less. What's the right word? He was less abrasive. He was
mm,
less. Uh, I can't think of the word, but anyway, but I think Elon Musk has a lot to contribute to this country and to the world, not only in space but also here with the electronic cars and also government efficiency. So that's what he's doing. And I'm not real political. I hear what you hear on the news. I hope for peace for our country, of course, and elsewhere. So it's all complicated, but
mm.
I mean. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm
Yeah.
cautiously optimistic. So
Yeah, I mean, I am as well. I was thinking like, the only thing about Elon Musk that I'm a little bit hesitant about is that Neuralink thing. 'Cause I guess I'm just as somebody that's a Christian, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, is that the beginning stages of the beast system? I don't know. Like,
no,
that's the only thing that makes me like. He might not do something with it, but what if somebody down his line do something with it? Like, I don't know.
I hope not. Well, X was a problem for the Jewish people at the beginning of after the October 7th because there was a lot of hate and racist posts, and it took them a while to bring those down or to edit that, to censor that. So that took a while.
Mm,
But yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, the other point I was going to say with oligarchy is what's going on in Russia and what happened in communist Hungary and all the communist countries under the Nazis too. It's just one guy that ruins it for everybody, or a small handful of people. So when they say oligarchy in the United States, we still have 100 senators and X number of Congress people. The young lady that just passed away, very sad, at 49. So, but there's enough people to make decisions. Now, some people say that government doesn't get anything done because of that. I don't know. I think it helps with our checks and balances. So be careful with that word oligarchy, or monarchy, of course, is the king.
mm.
and there are good kings and bad kings, and we all know
Hmm.
they were over the course of history.
Yeah, that's one of those things about America. Like I feel like, well, it's one of those. Well, I believe that God had them to establish the different things, like you just said, like maybe the Declaration of Independence, or all these different, documents that are like kind of really, really helping us in this day and time, whether we know it or not, or appreciate it or not. So it's an interesting time to be in because I feel like I'm seeing a lot of things that either people around me aren't paying attention to or seeing. So for me, but as a mom, and stuff like that, I am thinking about the future. I am thinking probably more about all of this stuff than I probably ever have in my life or whatever. So it's just a very interesting time to be in. And so you're talking about history, but in this particular time. And so, I mean, you already shared technically why you're on the journey, but how is the journey going since you have, I guess accepted the cause to continue the legacy of putting out your parents' book and things of that nature.
The journey's good. I mean, this is my 87th podcast. I've done 20 TV interviews, 3 radio interviews, including a rabbi, local radio, 36 book presentations, including two-day book signings at the United States Holocaust Museum in D.C. That was
Mm-hmm.
great, talking to the kids and their families and people from all over the world about genocide and the Holocaust, and I could do that every day. I've also talked to the Illinois Holocaust Museum. I've recently done the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center in Long Island, and I'm in talks with Houston and some other ones too. I do a lot of local talks. I don't say no to anything. I've got my first university talk coming up, University of South Carolina, which I'm real
Okay.
excited about. That'll be a nice foray into that segment. I'm just trying to spread the word one at a time. The podcasts are important. Anything that counts, anything that helps the message. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not making a lot of money on it. I've spent a lot of money on it. I've spent thousands of hours. I guess it's nice that I can afford to do that, time wise and money wise. I'm slowing down on my spending, but I'm finding ways still to reach out to people with a message at a reasonable cost. So the journey's going well. The book's been out for a while. The year before the terrorist attacks in Gaza. So it was October, and actually I was in Israel when the book was released. So and I never felt
Mm-hmm.
safer. So and I didn't want to come home, and that's to Florida. So it's a great place to visit too. As part of it, people say I should go back to Hungary and go visit the Danube, the shoes on the Danube, and the synagogue. Unfortunately, I'd probably be lost there without my parents there, but I do have a distant cousin who still lives in Hungary. She's a little bit older than me. Maybe she can show me the ropes, but I don't think she would know where my dad lived growing up. But they did take me in 1979 in high school, and I didn't think much of it then. I was just a dumb kid. I wanted to get back to my girlfriend and home, and I was the only one speaking English. Nobody spoke English. But now those memories have come back since I've been doing this story. So another great thing about this journey is meeting great people like you. It's every day I'm meeting new people, and I'm not only talking about hatred and anti-Semitism, but we talk about a lot of things, and that's been a great thing. And finding support, it's so heartwarming. Getting nice reviews, getting nice feedback on some of the book presentations. So, and there's bad sides to it too. All the fugazis on social media, you've got to weed out, and that's a lot of time spent.
Mm-hmm.
Occasional people arguing with me on social media, I try to avoid that. And
Mm-hmm.
apathy. Apathy is another thing, and not just for non-Jewish people, but Jewish people that are apathetic about what's going on. And look, people think I'm pitching a book, which I am. I mean, I'm talking about my book, but I'm not trying to be self-serving or self-promoting, as people will say sometimes. I'm just trying to talk about hate and why it's wrong and do it through my own little avenue. So I don't think I should have to defend myself or apologize for that kind of thing. So excuse me, it's a good journey, but it's got its setbacks too. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't change a thing. I'm going strong, hopefully, and I hope it stays that way.
Well, I mean, I commend you for, again, accepting the call because you could just be doing your doctor thing, right? Or you could just be doing something else. But it sounds like you are, making a great impact with young and old, and things of that nature. And so you never know what your work is going to do or bring out or help people understand. Or you may never fully understand like the impact that you're making. But as long as I guess you're feeling fulfilled throughout the process and you feeling like you're walking in your purpose, things of that nature, I feel like it's good. I mean, so
Yeah, maybe I'm a crusader, as they say in platoon. I could still be doing full time radiology. There's so many jobs out there and making a killing, and I choose not to. I mean, I got a little burnout from that too. So there's more to life than money. It's another lesson. My dad used to say that too, and I've helped thousands of people over the years with MRIs and CAT scans and X-ray, ultrasound, all that. But of course, I was compensated for it. So I'd like to break even on this book, and if I were to make anything of a profit that was worthwhile. Of course, I'm big into bonuses. I got to mention a great team that I have. My co-author Janice, our publisher Amsterdam Publishers, my friend Mark, who's been on this journey with me from the beginning, taught me about the early thing about social media. He does my website. My nephew John down here has a studio. He's helped me with the YouTube channel, and I've hired other people to help me with social media. Great team of people, and money usually well spent. Not always. Sometimes you get ripped off. That's part of it too. Excuse me, and I get pitched every day by they want money for book reviews or editing or a book cover, and I'm like, I've got all that, and I've seen it all. I know who's so. Anyway, that's it's all part of the journey, good and bad. But my strength is in that, and I try to stay optimistic, like I've said. Focus on what people enjoy and and how people change their thinking by what we're saying, and that's really my charge. That's my mission.
mm. Well, is there anything else you want to share with us before you go?
Well, can I show you my book?
Sure, yeah.
All right, so because there's something else to talk about. Whoops, let's get in the
Oh,
field here. Sorry about the
ooh.
reflection. So, 4 awards. The book's called "Not a Real Enemy: The True Story of a
Mm,
Hungarian Jewish Man's Fight for Freedom." It's won four
wow.
awards. Again, I can't do. I wouldn't have if it weren't for my team, especially my co-author. I wouldn't be here, and that wouldn't happen. I'm
Mm,
not big into slapping myself in the back or self congratulations, but I do appreciate how people that are in the know, people that are well read and review tons of these, liked our work, the quality of our work, and understood the importance of our work. So there's that. But none of it means anything if it doesn't help me fight anti-Semitism, if it doesn't change people's minds, if it doesn't help me recruit people to call their government or invite me to a book talk or anything like that, a podcast. And thank you again for that. You can find Not a Real Enemy if you Google Not a Real Enemy. If you Google me, Robert J. Wolf, MD, you'll find the book. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The book is also it's available at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Tufts, my undergrad alma mater, Walmart, and then the Holocaust museums I mentioned. So the Holocaust Museum in D.C., the Zeckelman Center in Michigan, the HMTC of Nassau County, that's the Long Island Holocaust Museum, and of course the Illinois Holocaust Museum. And I hope over time, oh, I didn't mention, maybe I said Barnes and Noble, but some in the brick and mortar, but you can go to any brick and mortar store and order the book and you can find it. So Google Not a Real Enemy, Google Robert J. Wolf, MD. I've got a website, robertjwolfmd.com. It's got a lot of content, a lot of videos, podcasts, TV interviews, and other videos that have nothing to do with me, but they cover some of the Hungarian Revolution, little known, and Nazi Hungary too. So what else? Social media. I'm on social media across the board. I spend a lot of time with it. X and Meta, where I'm a 62 and a half year old guy who's trying to be hip. So I'm going to call it X and Meta instead of Facebook and Twitter.
mm,
I've got a Facebook author page, Not a Real Enemy by Robert Wolf. And then I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, my favorite social media site. That's the most professional and my best way of getting connections and networking. I said Instagram, I think TikTok most recently and Blue Sky, but my major focus is on LinkedIn and Meta, believe it or not, because I still have a lot of friends on Meta, and the important announcements are reach out to a lot of people. So you get disappointed with groups. I'm in a lot of groups, but sometimes you just get a little traction from that. It's so hard to predict. You do a talk, you can sell 20 books or 50 books. You can do a talk and sell one book. So it's a very fickle business, but I enjoy doing it. And you'll find me. Please read the book, and if you like it, reach out. robertjwolfmd.com or on socials. Invite me to a book presentation, podcast, whatever, to help me fight anti-Semitism. I guess that's
mm,
the final word. It's too important to just ignore. A lot of problems in this country too: starvation, texting and driving, homeless. For me, this is my corner. I can't battle all that, and I can't fight anti-Semitism alone. So I appreciate your help. appreciate your inviting me. It means a lot to me. And you're a wonderful hostess. And I see you're an actress too. I wanted to ask you real quick about that, but I guess we could do that after the podcast. A mom, an actress, a podcast host. You got going on. You got it going on.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to use all my gifts, and I apologize, especially if you're hearing the different the interruptions. I should have muted some things, and my apologies for that. But yes, like I'm so glad to have had this conversation with you. I mean, is there anything else we should be looking out for you? I know you say you're going to be at a university soon, but anything else we should look out for?
University of South Carolina. That's coming up in May. So if you're in the area, reach out. I can give you the details. It's in Beaufort. It's in early May. So that I'm looking forward to that one. I'm in talks with Yale, my other alma mater, the Houston Holocaust Museum, and I need an assistant. I got a whole list of places to call and reach out to, and I do announce them on socials, especially when they're coming up. So stay in touch, and please, any support means a lot. Any support.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. One other. We're actually querying producers now, but unfortunately, many of them are in the LA area, so they're struggling with the fires.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've got to be sensitive on with today's world. But I found a gentleman who's a professor. He's a scriptwriter, and he's helped me query producers. So hopefully somebody, if it could be a movie, because everybody said, 4 Escapes and 20 Miracles, and really it could be. I mean, I say that, but a lot of people say it too. So whether it happens or not, I don't know. That's in the hand of God, or some of luck and connections, and who knows. But so it's a lot of work in it. I'm really trying hard, and I can only encourage people who have a good story to write it down and write a book. Give it, even if it's not published, you can self-publish. You can share with your family, your friends. Don't let it go, especially if it's an inspiring story like my father's.
That is amazing. Well, it sounds like we have a lot of great things to look out for, and I don't know if there's a little part for a little old me, but I'll audition if you want me to.
Okay, let me think about that. Hungary. It's a uniform population back then until they were taken over by, and of course the geography changed. But we'll get you on the set somehow.
No. No pressure.
Well, you seem like you're a good actress. You got a great personality for it, great smile, pretty lady. So you've got the tools for it. So I will keep you in mind. I mean, it's but Tom Cruise plays my dad in my fantasy movie. Tom Cruise plays my dad, and Tom Hanks plays one of the nicer guards in the labor camp. And then there's a whole handful of the Joaquin. If you remember him from Gladiator, he was a real brute. He could be one of the brutal guards. Natasha Leon, she's Hungarian, I believe. She's done some series. She's done a movie. I think it was called The Russian Doll. Pretty lady, red hair. She could play my mom or my dad's mom. And there's other Spielberg directs it, but he doesn't do Holocaust work anymore. So that's I got my little fantasy team for the movie. But we'll see. It's Tom Cruise. I mean, Tom Cruise looks great. He's my age, and I think, and he's still doing Mission Impossible, and so nothing is impossible. Seeing that.
Hey man, look, you got it all planned out then. Perfectly, we'll see it in the future sometime, man.
It's fantasy, but having been on TV a few times live for TV interviews, it's tough. You really have to outthink the camera. You got to outthink the crew, the heat, the pressure, the memorization. You've got to focus on what you're doing. It's difficult. So kudos to you if you're a successful actress. It's hard. People probably take it for granted. They think they're just collecting royalties and many checks and all that. It's not like that. I'm sure it's difficult, just like being a professional athlete or whatever. Difficult to get into medical school. I got to say this though: it's easier getting into medical school than it is trying to get your book to be a New York Times bestseller or a movie or something like that. I mean,
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Could be a series too, docudrama, that kind of thing. But I leave it to the professionals. And if it gets ignored, I'm still doing this, so people are still going to learn about it.
Yes, the people will learn about it, and it sounds like you're doing an amazing job. And congratulations on all the things you've already accomplished, being at all those museums and things like that. That's no little thing. So congratulations, and I guess they say Godspeed to you that He continues to bless you.
We didn't get to talk about sex and love. I'm so disappointed. We could have spent an hour. We can maybe do that next time. My dad was, I can't say he was a pervert, but as an OBGYN, he was open, open about talking about sexuality with me. So growing up, that was good. He had a Playboy magazine collection that I found, and he had a great sense of humor. He'd come home from work and tell dirty jokes, that kind of thing. So very jovial and jolly people. So I was very lucky.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, you can definitely come back and we can have the whole conversation about it if you want to.
Sex, love, and rock and roll. Also, sex and love and rock and roll, not drugs. That's the song, but great song too. But Ian Drury and the Blockheads. But let me know. I mean, that could be fun too. It'd be a lot lighter conversation for sure. But and we can still integrate it to how my mom and dad were, and how you and I are. I mean, Judeo-Christian values. There's nothing wrong with sexuality. There's nothing wrong with love. There are extremes. I mean, but we don't need to talk about that. But I think it's normal for humans to be fruitful and multiply, as they say.
Yes. Actually, now that you say that, I mean, I would love for you to come back in and talk about maybe the love story part, of your parents and stuff like that. Who knows? That could be something too. Look, I'm giving you ideas. Lifetime, or what is it? Hallmark love story movie.
I don't know if that'd be a top 10, but they had their romance and they got married secretly, Jewish wedding, and yeah, there's a bad story with that too. But they did meet each other, and fantastic bond. They were teammates, big time.
Oh. Now, okay, last question. Are you the only child?
I am. So
Wow.
This is my baby. My book's my baby. It's my legacy, giving it back. And 10% of my author proceeds are going to the Holocaust Museum in D.C. So that's for my mom and dad, and that contributes to the education too, as a sidebar. It's a secondary part of the educating. But yeah, I'm the only child of only children, so I'm the last one left. I've got distant cousins in Toronto and in Israel and Hungary, but I don't get to see them that often. I did recently, but yeah. So this is my baby. I've got stepkids and step grandkids, and they all support the book too. By the way, they're all Christian. They all support the book, and I hope it stays on. That any success may happen after I'm gone, and they'll be the recipients of that. Besides the Holocaust Museum, so hope they continue the fight against hate, and they buy in. They're very nice kids, very very educated and nice, and I've been very lucky, very blessed.
I mean, we always hope and pray that the next generation be better than us and stuff like that. And
Amen.
It doesn't look like the case sometimes when you're looking around and you're like, oh, why are we still arguing about the same things, or why is it this or why is it that? But there's always the hope, though, right? There's always the hope and the possibility.
Hope it comes up when I do book presentations. Integrity, hope, determination, loneliness, and of course retaliation, resilience, and redemption. So we talk about all of that in our book presentations. So separate from podcasts, I love doing it because such a great speech and well received. And this is another great podcast for me, and I can't thank you enough. I'm sure you'll be well received. I hope you have a big following, and I hope to get support from the Georgia and Atlanta area. More so.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for visiting us.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Miracle.
Thank you so much for watching the GSL Talk Show, and thank you to Dr. Wolf for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and check out his books and the rest of his endeavors. Have a good night.